Okay, let's take a look at question 2 on tutorial 6. The price of a European call option that expires in 6 months. So we have T, 6/12, has a strike price of £30, and the price of the call is £2. The underlying price of the stock is £29, and we have 2 dividends. Okay, so we don't have the usual setup of just a portfolio with a strike. We now need to factor in some dividends. The dividends are 50p in 2 and 5 months. Interest rates are 10% and they're continuous, making life quite simple. What is the price of a European put option? So we're given the call. We need the put that expires in 6 months and has a strike price of 30. So the put option, the details match the call option, which suggests to us we should be using the put call parity. So according to the put call parity, well, we need to be a little careful here. We've got the usual setup for the portfolio, a put, a share, and short on a call. But this is not a plain vanilla put option. Plain vanilla doesn't have any special conditions. There's no dividends, there's nothing unusual. Everything's very, very simple. But in our case, we need to factor in the dividends. So let's take a look how we do that. So we got the portfolio times 0. We buy a put, buy a share, and go short on a call. So we hedge for movements in both directions, share going up, share going down. The strike K, we're going to discount this to today's money so we can compare with the prices of the options and the share. That's the plain vanilla, but we now need to factor in the dividends. Okay, so the dividends we have, let's say T1, 2 months, and T2 is 5 months, and the dividends are 50p. So D1 equals D2 equals 50p. So we're going to take the first dividend and we're going to discount it to T equals 0 times 0, present value. And we're going to do the same with the second dividend. So we're comparing like for like. We're comparing all the cash flows or theoretical cash flows at the same point in time. Okay, so now we can calculate the value of the put. Just rearrange. The right hand side can stay where it is. And we bring the other values over and drop those in. Okay, let's spell it all out. So the discounting of the strike, the discounting of the dividend in 2 months to today, the discounting of the second dividend in 5 months to today. Let's use all the values in the question. We get the value of the put option is about £2.50 or 508213. Okay, so using this adjusted put call parity, we get the value of the put is about £2.51. Okay, standard question, given lots of information about the market, either a put or a call, you need to calculate the other one. Let's take a look at part B. describe an arbitrage opportunity if the price of a put that expires in 6 months, so fits into the above picture, were £3. Calculate its profit. Okay, so the put now, let's suppose, is selling for £3. What should we do? Well, we've just calculated the theoretical value, about £2.51, and the market value is £3. So it is expensive and we want to short it. So if the price of the put, or the possible values, we should say, of the put, were set higher than the fair value we just calculated, we would sell it. Okay, let me just draw your attention to the put call parity. So normally we set up a portfolio where we buy a put and we buy 1 unit of share. So we notice these are pluses because we own them. These are our assets. And we go short on a call. This is what the negative does. We need to cover this. It's a bit like a cost to us. So we record it as a negative. So actually what we want in this first term is a negative. And to make everything balance, we should also have a negative for the stock. It needs to move in the same direction. And a plus for the call, so everything moves in the same direction. And we can use this put call parity. So if we're going to short a put, we should also short the stock and buy a call option. That's one way to view it. The other way to view it is if you were to change the value of this put from about £2.51 to £3, your portfolio is it's going to be overpriced compared to the theoretical value, so we should short it and follow the opposites of these signs. Okay, so 2 ways to view it. Essentially, this is the strategy. Whichever one works for you, as long as you get this answer. The strategy is you short a put because it's expensive. You short the stock because it needs to go in the same direction as the put, and you buy the call because it needs to go in the opposite direction. Okay, one thing we need to factor in here, there's dividends. So we should pay the dividends to the holder, which we've gone short. So we pay dividends on the short sold stock. Okay, so I think we got a complete picture now. We're ready for the profit at the maturity date. Okay, so put everything together. We have a portfolio which we're short on at time t. So pi t, this is the value of the portfolio which we need to cover. So we need to pay this at the end. We also have some dividends we need to pay. So D1, which was 2 months away. Okay, I'm going to compound this to the future. So I'm going to take this from 2 months to 6 months, T1 to big T. There's another dividend which we need to factor in, D2. Okay, so we've got let's label these. The portfolio at T, which we need to pay. And we've got the value of the dividends, the divvies paid at time t in the future. Okay, how about the money we actually make? Well, we've gone short on the portfolio. I mean, and we got a value for this, and from that value we invest it. So we build some money at the risk-free rate of 10%, and we have some investment income plus our initial investment at time t. Okay, we've got all these numbers. So the profit is minus K, that's the portfolio we cover. Dividend 1. Okay, so T1 is 2 months. We need to move this to 6 months. So we need to compound it 4 months. D2 is at 5 months. We need to compound it 1 month to 6 months. And finally, the portfolio we went short on was £30, making 10% per year continuously, which gives us a grand total of, it's not too much, about 52 pence. So the profit at maturity is about 52 pence, just a little bit less. And there you go, that completes the question.